Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel Podcast. We are back with our monthly podcast, because the Heel Podcast. We are obviously covering just our standard WWE stuff today. But I think you might find an AEW one coming soon. Maybe this month, maybe next month. I don't know. Yeah, but double or nothing is good. You go find that in that one. But mainly, we're going to talk about Hell in a Cell, lads. We watched it last night. It was all right. It was.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think we're going to go crazy. It's going to be a very crazy long podcast, but I might be wrong because. I mean,
You usually are.
Wow.
Well, you say that pretty much every time, and then we end up going 3 hours. So.
Yeah, but that's usually because we've had to stop and start and stop and start. Yeah. Mania podcast was long. The Mania Backlash wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. But I mean, we'll start with the lack of matches on the pre-show.
I think the pre-show pretty much got taken up with the news that broke.
It did. Which was
There wasn't any. We'll get to that later. We'll get to it later.
Thought Pete might start with it. But yeah, Bianca Belair faced Asuka and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. I'll be honest. There was a stream I had a little bit of choppiness, but it was a very, very good match in terms of what we've seen recently on what the women's have produced. Because I don't know about you lads, it's felt really lackluster recently.
Yeah, well, I said that last night. I was like, when we was doing our predictions, I predicted Bianca to win, but I've got a bit bored recently. But it was just, I just felt the others. There was no one really that could have done anything better with it at the minute. It's not. She was like the best of a bad bunch for me at the minute. I'm just a bit bored.
That's fair. I think women's wrestling is at a pinnacle at the moment. It's best it's ever been. Across all companies, I think women's wrestling is probably better than I've ever watched any wrestling ever, and women's wrestling is better than the men's wrestling right now. In fact, I'd actually scrap all men's matches from now on and just have the women's matches from WWE at the moment, and that'd be perfect.
Right, now can we have the non-politically correct answer?
Women's wrestling is absolute nonsense at the moment, and I'd rather not watch it at all.
I was very confused. I love the fact that Pete was agreeing with it. I was so confused. I was like, what?
I'm sorry. We know that women's wrestling can be done well because we've seen it done well.
The pinnacle was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it probably was, to be fair, with Becky at the top for that whole run for Mania and everything with Charlotte and Ronda and they're putting Ronda in there for no. But anyway, I'll move on from my thoughts on Ronda, who doesn't know how to hold a belt the right way up because
she wasn't there tonight. Let her off, man.
Pretty clear. Well, this is part of the problem that we need to talk about at some point as well.
Yeah,
she wasn't there tonight. Roman wasn't there tonight. Brock isn't around at the moment. There is so. Do you know what? We'll get to this during the main event because obviously the main event was what it was, and it probably should have been changed for someone like those people who weren't there.
Yeah. Let's remember this was Hell in a Cell. We'll get to that as well, I suppose.
But we'll talk about the women's division a little bit more. We're missing Bayley still. We're missing Sasha. We're missing Charlotte.
At the minute, for me,
it's
WWE have possibly got on active at the minute. WWE have probably got the worst female roster.
Oh, absolutely,
active, because AEW's brilliant at the minute.
Hang on.
They're a lot better. It's been a lot better.
Brilliant strong.
I don't think he's wrong.
I think it's been good. I don't know about brilliant.
I think a lot better than WWE at the minute with the wrestlers that are active. Yeah, I think you're missing some of the best female wrestlers.
I actually agree.
Let us know in the comments if you think AEW's women's is brilliant.
Compared to WWE, I think it is.
It was awful for the longest time, but they have done wonders with that division recently. Britt Baker's fantastic.
Brit's good. Yep.
I think even
Ruby Soho did really well with the last month or so, the pay-per-view and everything.
I think
it was
even
really
the
good.
people that they've poached from WWE, the former Ember Moon, great wrestler. And
Athena.
she's gone over there, and
it is weird that you think of the people that have sort of left the company in recent years, left WWE in recent years, and you look at their current roster. The fact that you've lost, for example, Ember, you've lost Ruby, you've lost even the Iconics. Like
they've retired now, by the way.
Have they actually retired?
They've retired. They put out a statement from Impact because obviously they were in Impact, and they've officially retired from wrestling.
The fuck?
Yeah. Very sad because I think they are fantastic, but
yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought they were great all the time. I did get very bored of them, but they were great. They were great considering they were a women's tag team.
It was great
in a women's tag team division, and it worked. And it's like
great characters. That's the thing with them, you know.
Oh, iconic!
They could come in and they could have a match that wouldn't mean too much, but it would still be an all right match.
Yeah,
and that's the people like Athena's and people like that did the same.
So Ronda was originally supposed to be on this card as well, wasn't she?
Yes, against Natalia. Was that supposed to be for this weekend?
No. So originally Ronda was supposed to be on this card against Sasha.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That kind of for everything.
Right. Yes. That's true. So I mean, yeah. And we were supposed to have Bianca versus Naomi, and was that this?
Yes.
That was this month, wasn't it?
That was
what
this
it looked like it was going to be. It was what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That would have freed up Becky and Asuka.
And Becky and Asuka would have possibly even been in the cell.
Yeah, because they started the feud, didn't they, a while ago? Out of the title picture, which was really quite good.
Theory must have been thinking, thank God I can get a pay-per-view at last. No women about.
It's scary.
It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, you've got to think that probably would be the match that would have been taken off the card.
Because it's the only one without any build, really. Maybe Kevin Owens, Ezekiel, potentially. I think the others, they all had
which by the way, even if it wasn't on the card, it should have probably been bumped to a pre-show. And for God's sake, WWE, please bring back pre-show matches, because sitting for an hour with not even one match is painful.
Yeah,
you did very well. We will touch on it because obviously we did watch it, but you did very well for NXT in your house. The fact it was half an hour, perfect, lovely. And the fact that what? How can you have a dark match and apparently there was dark matches for NXT in your house? Where were they then? Were they after? Before? Stick them on the pre-show.
I think they were before. But...
Just stick them on the background whilst they're doing or they're talking. I don't know.
Yeah,
even that would have been fine.
It's strange to have a dark match at that anyway, because it's not like it took the crowd long to get in, because there wasn't one.
No, there was like 200 people.
Yeah, we managed to count most of the crowd at one point. Like
we counted everyone that was on screen, whether there was anybody around by the cameras.
We counted the row, and we counted how many deep that block was. You know,
it wasn't a massive amount.
Yeah, it probably was about 200, 300 people at most in that arena.
It's crazy.
Very, very small.
Yeah.
For what is essentially a pay-per-view, a premium live event.
Yeah, well, we're gonna.
It was a very small amount.
Whilst we're
probably should go back to the subject a little bit. Were you about to add one more thing?
I was just going to say, do you want to should we just quickly before because we can sort of tie it in with the women's division, the fact that there was a good couple of matches on there as well in NXT with the women's. We had Toxic Attraction beating Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I mean, Toxic Attraction. Look, I actually quite like them. I
think they're doing fantastic work down there.
Still a bit raw, I think, at the minute. And then Mandy Rose, who's I don't know, obviously with Toxic Attraction as well, and killing it as well. And it's like, well. Is it weird that I'm missing Mandy Rose being on the main roster when the roster's looking like the main roster's looking like it currently is? It's like, bye Pete, bye. I'm glad the overlay wasn't on. Bye Pete. Yeah, Pete's gone. So if you would like to join the Heel Project, please email us in at pizzaprick@gmail.com. Sorry if you actually own that email address.
It's true. It's damn true.
2,000 years later.
Hey, look, everyone, we found Pete. Pete's back. He just... You'll have to watch it to find out what we said about him, eh? Right, we were talking about the women's roster, though. It's just...
Well, I mean, we've moved on to talking about NXT a little bit as well.
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a combination of both. I'm going to sort of jump back and forth between the two. I think that's the way. Because, yeah, the fact that Mandy Rose is doing so well and I miss her, it's just wrong. The fact that SmackDown result, what was let me go through the people that we had the options of to face. What's her name? Shit.
Shayna, Aaliyah,
Ronda
Shotzi, Natalia.
Yeah, sorry. Natalia won. So she's going to face Ronda next.
Raquel Gonzalez. Rodriguez. What a stupid
Shotzi,
change of name that
Aaliyah,
is.
Shayna Baszler, Zia Lee. And that was it, yeah. Like, I'm not being funny. That's shit. That is
I see where you're going.
Shit.
I see where you're going. But if you bring Mandy Rose and Toxic Attraction up, I see the women's division in NXT completely gone.
To be honest, mate, I'm still at the point where
I don't know. There's still quite a few people down there. Like there's a lot of women in the NXT women's division, and to be deadly honest with you, they're not treating NXT as a third brand anymore. So fuck them.
Yeah, I do feel like it's just become this FCW, and it's like old school days. Like, okay, these names came up through that, and you heard of them if they were like killing it. But you didn't watch it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
you just knew it was someone to look out for.
You think you had the class of what was it? Brock, Orton, Cena, Shelton Benjamin. That was all the same class, wasn't it? They came up.
Batista,
and Batista as well. That was 5, wasn't it? And then they had, was it Victoria? Was the woman?
Probably around the same era.
I think it was, and that was that was the 6. It's like that's beastly, but I mean. Yeah, I'm not particularly fussed on NXT, mind you, because it probably is the last time we'll touch on it. I'm not too fussed on most of the card, but I do like the Creed brothers, and I do like Bron Breakker. Bron.
I mean, the Creed brothers, the Creed brothers have grown on me now, especially.
Oh, and
after that match, which was fantastic.
And I like Cameron Grimes.
Yep. Cameron Grimes is great. To the moon.
Although he's no longer North American champion. Sad times.
No, it's because he's just booked a flight with Elon, ain't
he? Elon Musk have him up on the main roster.
He's up on his way up to the moon with Elon.
But yeah.
Right.
Go on.
While we're talking about the women's division, I know we've moved on to talk a little bit more about NXT, but while we're talking about the women's division as well, we've not actually touched on the whole situation with Naomi and Sasha, and I think if we didn't, we'd be useless. Like, to be honest with you,
at first I thought it was a work.
I did,
and I don't think it is now.
That's never been a work. Sorry.
No, yeah, but my initial thought was that it's a work. There's not a lot we can say on it, to be honest, because we don't know fuck all. They had an argument backstage with higher ups, and they argued back. And there's more to it than that. To be fair, let's look at what the argument was. You know, they disagreed with the creative decisions made around the women's tag team division. Objection.
And the women's tag titles.
Hearsay.
But the problem is there are no women's tag teams. With the exception of Nikki ASH and Doudrop, which are still forming as a tag team. They're not actually there yet.
And Toxic Attraction.
Well, that's a different brand.
That's not, and
they've got their own belts.
It's the point that you have to go down there to actually get another tag team.
Yeah, there are no actual teams on the main roster, really. That I mean, if you can name one, feel free and don't. Okay, I suppose Natalia and Shayna are kind of a team, or were kind of a team, but
just get stuck with shit.
Yeah, Natalia just gets teamed up with everyone at some point or other, doesn't she? I think it's.
Oh, we did have Rhea and Liv, but they're now feuding.
Oh, well, they've split, yeah. So.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that leaves a sour taste in this whole thing with this Sasha and Naomi for me was they weren't happy. They've said Sasha wasn't happy with the way things were looking. Well, look, she was in the same storyline of a year ago, and when she was winning the matches, she was absolutely perfect with it.
Yeah.
To now do it like this because she was losing, that's a bit. No one else walked out last time a year ago when you were winning everything.
Yeah,
that's the bit that frustrates me.
Yeah, it's not even that either. Like Sasha was, so obviously Naomi was supposed to win the 6-pack challenge, and get put into the match with
Bianca
at Hell in a Cell. Sasha was supposed to go on and win to be in a match with Ronda at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
so which arguably is a bigger match. It's a bigger draw. It's. She would have made, near enough top dollar for that match because it's one of the big ticket matches, one of the marquee matches probably with Ronda on the card. I don't understand the logic really, other than I don't want to lose. Yeah. Like that's the only real argument that you can give for that.
Which I don't get. She's won everything the company has. It just seems a bit odd.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue, but she wants to defend women's tag team wrestling. It's like, well, that's fine, but like, there isn't a tag team division to defend.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry, like, there just isn't. What are you?
The other choice is you're not on the card because there's no one to defend it against.
Yeah, and to be fair, we've already had the men's mid card belts off the card for the best part of a year.
Yeah,
that we've not had a mid card title for the men's division.
Bar excluding obviously WrestleMania.
Yeah, so no, I don't think they were even on Mania. They weren't on Mania.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
Neither
of them were on Mania.
No. That's yes, exactly. Yeah.
Been that long already, but yeah, fucking hell.
So they've got nothing to really complain about.
At least they were given a match on the pay per view.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were in the spotlight. They were getting attention, and to be fair, getting more attention around the women's division at that time, and making themselves bigger stars would have made them tag team titles worth more.
Yeah,
and do you know what I mean? Like, there's no real argument for what they're saying.
What bigger push could you get apart from like you're women's tag champions and you're in the world title picture?
Yeah, I mean, oh no, they're going to lose to both of them. Well, yeah, because they're a tag team.
And that's not your you're better.
It's not their main division.
Yeah,
but they're still going to put a spotlight on themselves, and escort each other to the ring, make something of it, make a deal of the fact that you're a tag team and that you're supposed to be in tag team matches. It's not. There's nothing they can do. They can't make WWE hire more women's tag teams. Yeah. They can't.
You make the most of what you've got, really, and that's what you've got. You've pushed yourself.
Yeah. I just disagree with the way they've done it, and it rings bells of like the whole crap with. And to be fair, even CM Punk when he walked out, because I give Punk so much for walking out. Like I've always despised the idea of someone just walking out of a contract. Pac did the same thing. I had issues with that. At the end of the day,
with Birds,
Naomi and Sasha. They not only walked out on a contract, they walked out at the very, very last second.
Yeah.
They walked out as Raw had already been sorted. And look at it this way. Doudrop and Nikki ASH were in that match.
Yeah.
They got pulled from the match completely. Yeah. They weren't even on the card. And I don't remember, they've not really been back on the card since. That was probably the catalyst, the start point for them starting to build up to that women's tag team title match between Sasha and Naomi and Doudrop and Nikki ASH. But instead of letting the story play out and build up to that, they took their ball off. And
this is the thing. They've damaged it. They've damaged the whole women's roster even a lot more. Because, like you said, that was on that little bit of an incline again, bringing more people into the picture.
Yeah.
And they destroyed it, basically. Doing that.
Yeah, it's a selfish behavior, and I don't get the logic. I don't get the logic at all.
The thing is, if you're not happy, you sit down and you talk about it. You don't then go, right, I haven't heard what I want, I'm going. You then go, right, well, look, let's get tonight out of the way, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk again, because I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work something out.
There's a right way and a wrong way to go about it.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
I mean, even when Stone Cold walked out, he took his ball and went home, whatnot. He did. He said like it was planned, and he told her that he wouldn't. He didn't even show up to the arena. Like it wasn't a case of he went to the arena, sat there until just before bell time, and then left.
It's still not right, but at least they it wasn't minutes before.
Yeah,
and like Stone Cold actually had a legitimate gripe. Like he didn't want to just lose to Brock on a random on a random episode of Raw. He wanted to wait SmackDown. I can't remember which one it was. He wanted to put a build to it. It was a big marquee match, and he's not wrong. Not wrong at all.
Well, I mean, does it for me? It kind of puts a nail in the tag division now.
I think so.
I think they should.
I think I said it before. I said it when we was watching NXT as well. I think they should have kept it as a belt that was defended on all three brands, because then they could have just hid it down in NXT and let the
tag teams build up until
let the division build naturally,
and then Toxic Attraction could come up and defend. Or I mean, we could still see that. I suppose we could see that Toxic Attraction win it, and then they just unify them, and then they stay on NXT for a bit with it.
Which I'd be absolutely fine.
Leave it on NXT and have Doudrop and Nikki ASH go down and just get involved in an NXT match one time.
Yeah. Next up, we actually had a match which was a bit more organised on Hell in a Cell. We had Bobby Lashley defeating Omos and MVP. Do we think this storyline is done now?
This got changed position during the card itself.
So you say,
this match got moved. It was supposed to go on third and ended up going on second.
They just switched.
Not entirely sure why. Just a very, very strange switch around, but yeah, it did.
It was a direct switch as well, wasn't it?
Sorry?
I think it was a direct switch as well, wasn't it? Because it was supposed
yeah. It was supposed to go on third and it went on second, and they just switched it with the match that was on third second. Yeah.
Maybe one of the others wasn't ready. They just got quick move.
Yeah, maybe. Just to... Yeah. On a card that was that sort of, it just seemed a bit strange to move them.
Yeah, both went less than 10 minutes anyway. To be fair.
Yeah.
What are we thinking now is going to happen with Bobby? Because obviously we had it that Cedric interfered. Cost.
Well, we had two backstage segments.
We did, which I did.
We had
one
backstage segment at the beginning, which was basically Cedric saying, if Omos takes him out, if basically Cedric was trying to lay out a plan for him to get involved in the match. He's like, MVP distract the ref, I'll jump in and hit him with a chair or something. It made sense. And basically MVP ran him down. He was like, no, like you've wasted so many opportunities, and we're just never going to be associates again. It's not going to happen. And then he told Omos to tell him, and then Omos was like, it's time for you to leave. And that was it.
He turns on the
I thought that exactly.
All right.
I'll be back.
And that was that. So obviously there was a foreshadowing moment beforehand. It was clear that something was going to. I mean, I called it before the match. Didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, man.
Jamaica. Yeah, man. It's Kofi.
Yeah, he obviously Cedric came out during the match, cost a distraction on Omos, which gave Lashley enough chance to recover, hit the spear, and obviously get MVP into the hurt lock, and MVP tapped out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't tap out that quickly.
Well, no, he didn't tap out that quickly. He missed it.
I think
he was in the hold for a little while. Then he started tapping for a while, and then eventually the ref realised he was tapping.
I said last night. It looked like he went to tap immediately, and he just couldn't get his arm round.
Yeah,
that's possible.
And then Bobby had to release his hold a little bit, just so MVP could actually touch his arm.
But we'll touch on Link's favourite bit of MVP. You've loved that rap.
The rap.
I think the rap was really good. Yeah, it's something fresh. It's something fresh and new for their gimmick, for their the way that they're trying to market things, we actually got a promo package before the match that ran down all the stuff. It was done via his rap.
Very
we
old
actually
school.
got a promo package for the match, and I've always been a big fan of promo packages that run down the history of what's going on and why the match is happening.
Yeah.
I've always loved a good promo package for matches, and I think they should do it more often. It's annoying that they don't. The best thing you can get, or the closest thing you can get to a promo package now, is to watch the pre-show and see what Booker T has to say about things.
Or Jerry Lawler, which is they're just no, not for me. Either one, not for me. But no, I thought it was even funny that that he just sort of called out ECW as well.
He did.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I hadn't noticed it until someone on our TikTok went, they really buried ECW, and I was like,
Yeah,
did he?
Like
And I replayed it. And I was like, oh yes, that was the bit.
did.
As I was only half listening, because I was concentrating on something on the other
Yeah, it
screen.
was good.
But yes, you both reacted. I think I reacted. I was like, ah! I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know what I was reacting to. That's just what you do.
We'll get him next time. We'll just get him to react to something really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What's
thought
wrong?
it was good.
Look, it's just Jared. Yeah. Shout out to Jared. Right.
And Shadow.
Back to the original question. Is this feud done? Is it?
Yes.
I think it should be there, yeah.
I think it is, because what happened at the end of the match when Bobby celebrated?
Well, he was backstage with Cedric, wasn't he?
No. When he got out of the ring and picked up that fan's
he did.
belt.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
And then walked around, held the belt up and went, I'm coming for you. I think that's what we're going to get.
If Raymond wants to turn up.
Yeah, I think we're going to get, because it looks like Roman weren't going to be about. He's already been issued with a challenge for Cardiff. So I think in the meantime, we're going to get maybe a Lashley challenge.
I'm sorry, but we're in June and the challenge for September has already been
But
issued.
the thing is, I was kind of thinking about
He's
this.
on the side of SummerSlam.
There's two belts.
Well,
There's two belts. He can't defend. He's not going to be defending them both in one night. So if they're stopped a feud with one of the titles, maybe it's time to wrestle for the other one.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do now. Have Roman appear on Raw a lot more. Have that title up for grabs for a bit. Have a feud for that.
Well, I Roman challenged for the undisputed Universal title, which is both belts.
Roman challenge
actually-
or Dream?
True challenge.
True challenge. But it might get to that point where Roman hasn't got both belts, in all fairness. So
And if he's got the one.
Yeah, Drew wouldn't have much choice, will he, really, let's be honest.
Or even if he does carry both, just have a feud for the other one, because he's been on SmackDown, fighting a lot of SmackDown titles for the SmackDown title. Go across now, pick up a bit. I can see that happening. I think we can get Bobby Lashley matches.
Yeah,
I've got no objection to watching Bobby go for another title run. He's not going to win, so.
No. But at least there's a title pick. At least there's a title match there.
They've got Bobby up very strong as well during that feud with Omos.
Yeah.
You know, he's in a position now where he could pose a credible threat to Roman. He doesn't, but
There's not many that can.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll move on to our, I don't know, two of our more favoured wrestlers of recent sort of months, since Mania certainly. Kevin Owens, Ezekiel.
One of our more favourite wrestlers.
Oh, no, I like Kevin Owens as well.
You've not been enjoying seeing his? I think it hasn't been that bad, to be fair. I've actually quite enjoyed it. It's been silly. They bounce off each other really well.
It's silly. It's the operative
But
thing
it's
there.
also entertaining.
I don't forget that is what the
To a
E
point.
That is what the E stands for, mate.
Yeah, in Ezekiel. Well done.
No, in entertainment, in WWE, you penis.
No, it's not.
What's it stand for?
Elias.
What with Elias? No.
Walk with Elias,
No.
WWE, yeah.
Ezek.
But last night it was Wrestle with Ezekiel. So
Yeah.
Was it really?
and
God's sake.
no, I'm saying it was.
Oh, okay.
He lost. End of.
He did lose. Yeah.
I'll be honest.
No, it was right all along.
I fully thought he was going to win it because I don't know. It was weird. They've given him quite a good push, especially sticking with Kevin Owens, doing segments with Kevin Owens. I thought maybe he'd get one win over Owens, but
I didn't even think that. I just thought it wouldn't be a clean match. That shocked me.
and it was.
It was very clean.
Dunno.
Very clean.
I was just shocked by everything last night, to be honest.
No one got mud on them or anything.
It was a very strange one because he was trying to prove that he was a liar, and he was like, "I need to win this match to stop that he was a liar," and he won, and no one knows nothing. I just can't see where either of them are going to go now.
It's a very strange ending to the feud.
It's been built quite a long time for this, and it was okay.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add on it except from shush, please.
Shush, please.
Judgment Day. They then defeated what was being called as Bulliv Club, which is appalling, even by my standards. That is bad. That was on the pre-show, wasn't it? That was.
No, it was. To be fair, I don't know if they actually ever said it on WWE. It was Fightful.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was definitely no one Gaza name, is it?
No one Gaza.
Oh,
no.
God.
On Gaza. No, it's my Zoom call. But I mean, I don't know how you. Well, we sort of said last night, 6-person tag matches for me are a bit.
It was very flat.
They can be.
With the exception, I was looking forward, in all fairness, to Riddle and Orton and McIntyre against the Bloodline. Like that, I was looking forward to what they could do with that.
Nothing.
I was looking forward to with this one more in terms of where it progressed the storyline.
Yeah. And it didn't.
It did nothing. I don't understand. It did nothing. It didn't do anything.
I think that's
what I wanted it to.
That's all anyone wanted to see, because we thought someone was going to come out, someone was going to join Judgment Day, there was going to be a turn. Absolutely nothing.
It was just a straight win. There wasn't too much shenanigans.
No, it was pretty.
A little bit of shenanigans that Rhea got in the way, like your dog did. And was just like, no, Finn, you can't jump because I am woman. And he was like, oh no, I cannot jump because you are woman. And then he lost the match because of it.
Link did really like chokeslam that happened there.
There's chokeslam from the outside to the inside. No, that was in the next match.
Yeah.
There was the. I do like Priest's chokeslam. He has the sit out chokeslam, doesn't he? I think it's a good move. Go lie down.
Did Edge win that with his spear? Didn't he?
So yes.
It wasn't even the best spear of the weekend, though, was it? Let's be honest.
It wasn't.
Bron Breaker's. We'll jump back to that one as well. I thought Bron Breaker's spear, marvelous. Well done, Bron.
I think Lashley hit a great spear as well last night, to be honest with you.
I didn't win the match, so that was the difference. There's no point having a good spear if you're going to just hit it with a hurt lock after anyway. It's like, that's overkill, man. Come on.
Well, no, it was two different people. He hit Omos with the spear.
I think the thing that Lashley down with that was like the way Omos took the spear. Kind of, took the edge off a bit.
Yeah. Well, it was the spear to the good spear was the one he hit MVP with before.
Yeah,
that all happened, to be fair. Anyway,
Judgment Day, Bulliv Club.
My issue with this, and it was the fact that it was a mixed match, is what they essentially do is they have a men's tag match where they can have a little bit of a break from every now and again, but they're all still in the match. And a women's single match at the same time, but with
men stood there watching
to just stand around and watch for a bit and have a break. Like it doesn't make that much sense because obviously they can't fight each other. So if a woman gets tagged in, the other woman automatically gets tagged in. So it's like I don't get there's no real logic to it. Like I don't understand why that should be in a tag match. Like it is just a singles match for women, but with timeouts in it.
I'll be honest, I would have split it into two different matches.
Yeah,
but then have
singles match.
But have the women at ringside for the men's match. There's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah,
or the other way around.
Yeah,
I'll just split two different matches.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have just had it as a tag match and have the women just start fighting during the match.
Yeah.
You know, at the ringside, it would have worked just as well. I don't understand the logic of the mixed matches. Are just that. They're the drizzling shits, mate. I can't try and say that in a nicer way. They're so bad.
This one, I remember halfway through, I was like, it just felt really flat to be all of a sudden.
There's only one thing I could say that's good about it. At least Liv and Rhea were on the card. You know, it does keep them about
I don't
keeps
disagree
them alive
about
for the
fact they were
women's
around.
the women's division, because we were moaning about it being dead. So
Yeah.
I mean, they
Liv
are
had an interesting entrance as well with the
renewal holographics,
Triple-
weird
Titantron.
psychedelic
holographics,
nonsense.
and it was
Yeah.
holographic, wasn't it? When a Titantron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right. Main question. We asked it before. We'll ask it again. Who's next for Judgment Day? They're gonna, as in who's joining them next.
I'm gonna go with Ciampa because I think last night would have been the perfect time for Finn, and he isn't doing that. I don't think.
I'm not gonna lie. They might not have anyone else now.
Well, this is it.
They may have just used it just to get us talking about them like we are doing. They might be at the point where they're just like, no, this is all we're gonna do. I think feud wise for them though, I think their next feud was supposed to be Cody.
Do you?
Personally, yeah. I don't know whether that's going to happen now, and we'll get onto that. But I think that was Edge Cody was the next feud. I think personally.
I mean, we'll get to it. Depending on recovery time, it could still happen. Just as a manager side, Cody could create his own create his own team, I suppose. For a little stable, same as what AJ's done, really, I suppose.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, Cody was a member of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. What, and you're thinking him coming in and manage just carry on that feud and Cody get involved as the manager
with them? Yeah, I mean,
he's
obviously, if you do get Ciampa join as well, it's 3 men on both teams.
And the thing is, that'll give Edge the role that I really wanted, a more of a backseater role, and only come in every now and again.
Thing is, for me, personally, if I was going to do it, I would remove Finn, AJ, and Liv, let them do their own thing. Stick probably Finn and AJ round the minor titles, stick them round the Money in the Bank matches, stick Liv back round the main title for the women's, and then I'd get Ciampa in for a start for a Judgment Day, and then I want to see the thing that I said the other night on NXT. I'd love to see the Creed brothers with Bron Breakker come up to the main roster. Those, you imagine the Creed brothers, Bron Breakker against Edge, Priest, and
I don't think I love Edge.
I don't think he can keep up.
I don't think he can keep up with that. And I don't like. I'm not Priest's biggest fan either, to be deadly honest.
Do you know, I'd love to see Alpha Academy. I'd love to see Creed Brothers join the Alpha Academy.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought people were going to say, I just like Alpha
Shorty,
Academy.
with old Shorty G.
I mean, they won't for a little while now.
No, they're not going.
They are the tag team champions now. Obviously defeating Pretty Deadly, who we think are a bit shit.
Pretty shit, yeah.
Because we've watched them live and we thought they were a bit shit
Pretty shit then as well.
Yeah.
They were toilet breaks then.
Yeah, they genuinely was. I did see people actually going around to go for a piss.
They're from the UK though, so yay!
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that's pretty much just covered though. But yeah, would you? Is that where you would put Finn, AJ, and Liv if they are to be finished with this feud? Would you stick them around where I'm sort of thinking?
I don't think I can put Liv around the title picture, to be honest with you.
But then what would you do with her? Because I think it's just a bit. I don't know. She's been built too much now to be wasted.
To be honest with you, I'd probably stick her in a manager role with Finn or AJ and keep them as a pairing and with either one of them.
Let's have a.
No, but then they'll keep that name.
Yeah, they would.
I mean that name's not a WWE creation or a thing though, so it's not necessarily something that we'll see again.
I was gonna say it's as good as Angaza. Let's be honest.
Yeah, which also wasn't a thing.
Oh, that was
ever
should have been,
but it wasn't. It's just I don't think Liv's got what it takes. I feel bad saying it, but I just don't. I don't see main event potential in it. I don't see it.
Which is interesting because a lot of others do. The actual wrestlers, don't they? They really see Liv as a future, like the actual roster. With Becky was talking about it, saying that she really sees her as a future world champion.
For her age, they were like, she's done so much for her because she's still very young. Yeah, I think that's what they look at as well.
She's 27. She's my age.
which is not that young for a female in WWE, to be honest.
No, but considering what's around the title picture in a minute, there's a few more experienced ones.
Yeah. But I mean, we're still talking. Bianca's 33. She's a bit older than I thought, actually. In all fairness, after Asuka's 40, Becky is now.
Yeah.
How old's Becky now?
Like 42.
35. 42.
Yeah.
Just throwing out numbers now, aren't you?
But I mean, definitely one of the younger ones.
Let's not forget, Liv is still 2 years older than Rhea. Rhea's still only 25. Mental.
Yep.
But yeah, now it's time.
He's going to be around for some time to come in, Rhea.
To talk about the man with the greatest physique in WWE, and he was lost to Madcap Moss. He lost to Madcap Moss. Baron Corbin, no, Madcap Moss is an absolute machine, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. The guy is, like I said before. There's a scene in Game of Thrones. I'm gonna quote Game of Thrones. I'm not going to talk about that bit.
I was like,
there's a scene in Game of Thrones where one of the Night's Watch sees Hodor, and he's like, if I was his size, I'd be king. You know, I'd be king of the world or something like that.
Right.
I kind of looked at Moss last night, and I was like, if I looked like that, I'd be a billionaire.
I'm really happy for one thing. I was
up.
really worried that Moss was going to get lost, and just once he got rid of Corbin, it was going to get.
Well, no, because he's lost the suspenders now, and he's got black trunks.
I think now he's
like
really going to go on a bit of a push, and I'm really happy because I really thought he was going to get lost, and I'd have been a bit gutted with that.
Yeah, if they kept the madcap part of Madcap Moss, I think he would have got lost. To be honest with you, but it seems like they're sort of moving away from that a little bit, and
they've done well,
and making him a little bit more of a serious character, which is a good idea.
Just sort of a feud, but they're not the same brand, so it wouldn't work.
I'd love an IC run.
Happy Corbin.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do with that chap? Because like he's great in the ring.
So
he's a safe hand. Like he's not green anymore. Like he's just not. Like he was green way back when. But I think Baron Corbin's probably one of the best workers on the roster right now.
Let's not forget he's now 37. Like he's not young.
He's always safe. I think he probably deserves more.
You need, and every time we say, there's always one or two wrestlers that go on there. They take the losses because they are safe.
Yeah.
They do work it well, and I think this is Corbin.
I'll give you a prime example of that. Kane has the most losses in all wrestling history. Like
even more than Kurt Hawkins.
Which is insane. Kane. I mean, he's also like fourth on the most wins of all time as well. Which is
I mean, it helps when you've just
balances
done that
pretty
many.
well. Yeah.
But I think it's one of those. Baron Corbin doesn't have a bad match. He can make pretty much anyone look good as well. He's safe, and he'll take the losses. They don't hurt him as much. His gimmick's still over.
Well,
so
to the point, I'd argue the fact that Moss could do it, but it'd be a bit pointless, maybe a bit too early in his character build. But we've got Ricochet versus Gunther next. If Gunther wins,
Ricochet,
Happy Corbin versus Gunther in a feud for the Intercontinental title.
It's two big old boys. Big old boys.
But even Madcap against Gunther would be a hell of a feud. Because it's the fact that Gunther, even at his size that he was before, would have looked normal size compared to these two guys.
Yeah.
If not, maybe a little. Well, I'm a bit concerned now that he maybe look a little bit small actually, because I expect he's probably quite a bit shorter than.
I imagine Corbin. He's shorter than Corbin.
Because he's a big boy. He's a tall boy. Whereas Madcap Moss is just he's what I describe as like a really heavy boulder. But like a good one. You know, like Otis was the bad one. He's the good one. He's the one that Donkey saw in Shrek. I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. Most predictable match of the night. In all fairness, lads, let's not take anything away from it. Take too much away from it, but was the most predictable match.
Apart from
it was enjoyable.
The only bit that wasn't predictable was I thought this
finish.
week when he made his return, I thought it was going to be Scott Steiner when the ambulance kicked in.
That was silly.
I've seen that since. That was
silly. Yeah, generally speaking, when you leave a hospital, like several weeks before you return to the hospital to the ring, they don't let you borrow an ambulance. Like it's just. Because it's not the first time WWE have done that either, is it?
Excuse me, can I hire out your hospital? Hire your ambulance for 2 weeks?
Sorry, it's a medical facility. But it's not the first time they've done it either, though, is it? Where someone's been out with an injury, it's like, oh, well, now they're coming back. We'll give them the ambulance. Well, what?
They've just kept them in there till they were ready.
It's like a congratulations, you're better thing, isn't it? You get a free ambulance. Like what? No.
I mean, that is why the medical bills are so high, I suppose. You get ambulances for it in return.
To be fair, you could probably buy an ambulance with the amount the Americans get charged for medical stuff. So yeah, it's
definitely a good match.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens on
crazy, absolutely
Friday
crazy
with them on SmackDown. Theory defeats Mustafa Ali.
Hometown boy.
Yeah, I did put in our predictions that Mustafa Ali would get the win.
You were wrong.
I fully was, and I knew I was fairly sure I was gonna be wrong. In all fairness, but it's the fact that they made reference to it. 3 weeks ago, I think it was said on SmackDown that we'll be going to during I don't know who's he fighting, maybe the Miz, Mustafa Ali, part of the build up to it. That they were going to his hometown Chicago for a Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell.
I think what frustrated me about this a little bit, the whole build up has involved the Miz. There wasn't even one mention of him last night.
There was. Oh wait, that was before the pre-show, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
God, that was boring on the bump. Watching the Miz, the Miz and Maurice talk. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
on the actual match, they've been hyping up the Miz, Theory teaming up, and I just thought there'd be something last night, and they haven't even mentioned it. So it kind of puzzled me a bit. It's what the Miz will always add something to a match.
Do you know what this felt like? This entire premium event. It felt like it was COVID era roster. The fact that they had to limit on how many people that were allowed in, and it was just
in the building and stuff. I see what you're saying.
Very odd, considering like when we came out of COVID, they were like, throw everyone on. Everyone has to pay for you, except from if you're the current minor champion. You're not allowed on.
You still don't get on.
You're not allowed on, but everyone else is.
Oh no, they were on. They were just in multi-people matches or over matches.
Well,
they were never defending the titles. It's a bizarre time.
I don't know what to do with the US now, in my honest opinion, because
it's going to stay on Theory for a while.
Yeah, Theory's an okay champion. He's okay, and I think you've got to build him. But realistically, who's he going to fight next? Kevin Owens?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, maybe now that he's finished with Zeke?
To build him, I tell you what I'd like.
Owens is technically still a heel at this point, so maybe even Zeke.
I tell you what I'd like, just to make Theory step up a bit and give him a big win. I'd like to see a bit of a Cena thing come back for the US title.
Well, Cena did say if he comes back, he's coming back to face Theory, didn't he? So...
And I'd like to see Theory pick up the win and really elevate in that next level and get a win over Cena.
The thing is, in my opinion, and we'll kind of get to that a bit more later on with the Money in the Bank, but I would like to see Theory and whoever the IC champion is probably in Money in the Bank match.
Well, at the moment it's Ricochet, but I think it's probably going to be Gunther.
I got a feeling it's going to be Gunther, but it was just, unless there's interference, that's the only way that can not be Gunther, in my opinion.
But interference isn't going to benefit anybody other than Gunther because he's got Ludwig at the side of the ring.
Yeah, but I mean,
unless he's round at Bob's house.
Shout out to Bob off the line.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Bob ain't watching.
No, watch.
Phil's not even watching at this point. Phil probably watched the first 5 minutes, but if you got it this far, Phil, thanks.
Phil's all day. He's not watching.
Sure.
Yeah, but Phil's still also been talking to us while he's on late. Crazy.
Yeah, I noticed that. Strange.
Actually, there is somebody else that I thought that is currently going to be quiet for a bit now if his feud's finished. But
feels like a feud.
Seth's free. Seth is free now, for theory.
But he's also a heel.
He is also a heel, but it don't take much to change them. Let's be honest. I think we got to look past the face versus heels all the time because they can change it within a week, can't they?
You're more likely to get Seth versus Gunther than Seth versus.
Because Seth's definitely not hated. Theory. Look at the chance last night when he got out of those tables.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the Steph's not hated. I think I think that's the fact that Corbin. Yeah, well, I will say Corbin in the last match didn't get out of table, and then Seth
teased it. He teased it,
winding him up, and then Seth got one out, and they started thanking him, and Seth had no idea why.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It sounds like Dan's got a bird in there.
That ain't me, mate.
That's not this end.
It's Pete! Pete, you got a bird in there!
It's not me. Silent here.
It is you. It's outside. It's distant.
How can you hear that? I can just hear that.
It's distant. It's definitely you, Pete, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can hear that.
So it's not me with a fucking bird at the moment. Fuck you guys.
Have I got a bird in here? No, it's out there.
Yeah, because where birds are supposed to be kept.
Sorry, Flair. I'm going to chuck you out the window because apparently you're supposed to be outside, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Not much else to add. I don't care about Mustafa Ali. Really don't. Don't give a crap.
No, me neither.
The fact that Kofi Kingston saved the day the fact that Mustafa Ali got injured, thank fuck for that. Because at least Kofi was fine for a bit, you know. But could you imagine having Ali Mania? It would have been appalling.
Yeah.
Sorry, but thank fuck for that.
Fuck for that.
He got injured. Thank
fuck for that. Yeah, no, it was about time he got injured. No, look,
it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
He's not an appalling wrestler. I just think he's a bit boring. You know,
he's not an appalling wrestler, but just thank fuck he got injured.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully next time someone shoots him.
And then when it happens on SmackDown, thank fuck Ricochet got injured by Gunther to lose the title there. That's where I put Mustafa Ali. Like, okay, you're an okay wrestler. Okay, you can do flippy shit, but you are a boring motherfucker.
Do you think we're going to see him in a storyline anytime soon? Now he's lost this.
No.
I can't see where he's going to go now.
He used to be a cop, didn't he?
Does that mean he's going to go back to the police force? What?
I mean, that's probably where he should go. He's wrestling that great.
because thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
Speaking of somebody that injured, thank fuck for that. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Cody Rhodes in the main event defeats Seth Rollins. But that wasn't all. Cody Rhodes before the match had a leading up to the whole thing, apparently strained, twisted, did something to his pectoral muscle.
They slightly
damaged it, essentially.
There was a partial tear.
Yeah.
And then
was announced originally.
What they're saying is during the gym session. Hello, Jackie. You look nice. That sort of gym. No, that'd be weird. During a gym session, he absolutely fucked it and apparently tore it off the bone. I don't believe that it was that far. In my opinion, I'd be surprised if he could wrestle if it was that bad. You know, I don't think because let's not forget WWE. It isn't. You have to be still declared fit, fit enough. Whether Cody wanted to go or not is a different story. But
I'm baffled. I'm baffled that this match was allowed to go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm baffled. And I feel like regardless of the match quality, regardless of everything else within the match, if I didn't give WWE stick for allowing this match to happen. After amount that I've ripped into AEW over what happened with Matt Hardy all that time ago, I'd be a hypocrite. So I look, it was.
I only have one difference. They
shouldn't have allowed it.
The only difference is it wasn't a head injury. It's the only difference.
Yeah.
And as long as Cody feels that he can move, It's a bit different, isn't it?
I
Concussion,
think
you've got to stop. End of.
This is where it leads us to the other thing, though. It was like, right, they've been building this for ages. They've been doing this for weeks. This is the main event, the only match in a cell. If you took Cody out of this,
but this is I touched on this at the very beginning as well, didn't I? At the moment, they are very, very short of main eventers. Very short. You know, we could have potentially had. I think Drew McIntyre is probably about the only main eventer that was around that wasn't in a match last night.
But that is depending on who even travelled to Chicago. Like, I don't even know who travelled to Chicago. Was it confirmed as to when this, like, it made it even worse? I think it was only in the last day or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. It was yesterday or the day before the pay-per-view that he pulled out of a house show match because of it.
Would have made it hard to get another main eventer in and sort of.
But I'll be
cram
honest,
it in.
even if they announced last minute Drew steps in, I can imagine a lot of these fans going, "Really? You're swapping out Cody for Drew for this Drew versus Seth?" It wouldn't
have made sense. It definitely wouldn't have needed the sell, but at least. Look, you know, if they ran out of options to a point where they're going to put a man in with one arm who's going to be who's injured, who potentially is going to make it worse and mean he's going to take more time out on the shelf.
Their hands would have been kind of tired, but
The thing is, if the same time Cody could have argued the fact, and they might have, maybe Cody did what Sasha should have done and Naomi should have done, and they negotiated the whole thing. Maybe Cody's gone, look, I'm going to be out for a while. The injury's bad. I'm going to have surgery to repair it. How badly do we think that I'd have to get hurt again to make my recovery time considerably longer? And for the sake of a match where it's the main event and it's the only match in a hell in a cell, in a cell, I do that all the time. A match in a hell, match in a cell. Maybe Cody tried to force the fact that I probably can go, and at least we've got this main event.
Well, there was I don't know if you guys have seen it. There was a little mic segment after the Hell in a Cell match.
I've not.
And Cody has said that it was 100% his decision. No one had forced him into it. He said he'll keep it quick because he's out.
Oh yeah.
No one forced him into it, and he said he'll talk about more on Raw tonight, so he'll keep it short. But he wanted to make it clear that it was 100% his decision, and he would have done that 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised at that. In all fairness,
I don't.
What I'm saying is that it's that he wasn't forced into it, but he could have quite easily been forced out of it if the doctor didn't pass him fit.
Do us a favour, Dan.
Yeah.
Just for the people watching, can you just put a little photo up somewhere
of
when he took his jacket off?
Of the Bruise, when he first took his jacket off, so that people can see what we're actually. It just
I don't know how many other images you have, but I'll be making sure that that's there.
But
I'll be honest. I first noticed his bruise because you could see it under the jacket. It was quite small under the jacket. He took that jacket off, and I said it's going to be big. If it is, it's going to be black on around his armpit.
I was going to say you saw a little bruise, and you was like, look, you're gonna see a bit of black
under the armpit
there if it's bad. Yeah. And when he took it off, and you see his basically whole side, it was like,
well, it was nearly down to his elbow, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was all the way around the back as well. You actually see it covered down his side, and it was like that was even a cringeworthy moment when he first had a jacket off.
But I couldn't.
It was a very uncomfortable match to watch from the get-go, really.
I used that about halfway through, and I was just like I said during the stream. I felt sorry for him, and then I thought, "You stupid twat! This is all on you now. Go lie in your own bed." You
at a certain point,
thank fuck for that.
At a certain point, there's nothing. You can cringe all day long. It's already happening. Like there's nothing else you can kind of do. You know, it's. Should it have happened? No. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have wrestled in that condition. No.
Was it a really good...
Was it still a good match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really good match.
And I actually think the injury may have added to the match as well, which is weird, but it did.
I loved the match right from the get-go as soon as Seth made his entrance.
Yep. Polka dot theme.
Polka dots.
Yeah. Loved it.
It was great.
It's amazing how much that was overshadowed, though, wasn't it? Like,
By a bruise, yeah, man.
Massive
But
bruise.
you think we had?
Although, I said during his entrance as well, though, just after his entrance, it's like Steph wearing the polka dots isn't really an insult to Cody when you think about it, because Seth loved Dusty and Dusty loved Seth. Like during their obviously their time in NXT together, like Dusty was one of Seth's mentors, role models, whatever you want to call him. So there's a history there between Dusty and Seth as well.
This adds to this match. That adds so much.
I wouldn't be surprised if during Raw tonight we see some sort of, I don't know, respect showing between him and Seth. Because if we consider the fact that Seth even voluntarily put on the cowbell thing,
that was a weird spot.
Strap,
yeah,
the fact that he voluntarily did it, like, all right, I'm matching for this. So it's like
that was another.
The fact that he did it himself as well, that was like a bit of respect. Like, all right, fucking, you want to do that?
Cody was yelling at him a lot. To be fair,
very high pitch.
Yeah, but I mean, Seth didn't have to. He's the heel. He wouldn't have had to, but it was like that little bit of respect, wasn't it? It was like, fuck it, you're going to go this mad. Fuck it, I'm going to go this mad. Then yeah, why not? Let's do it. Fucking it was good. It was good. However, so we had Cody cutters, we had multiple crossroads, we had table spots, we had buckle bombs, we had the stomp, we had all sorts.
Pedigree both ways as well. Like obviously Cody hit the pedigree.
Yeah. Pedigree, yeah, and we had Cody cutter crossroads both ways as well.
Yeah,
Seth did it. Yeah, we had the cell once.
Yeah.
And
it was kind of unnecessary for it to be a cell match.
Yeah, and I felt like
the thing is, we said last night we had belts, we had everything.
Well, we said before the match, before we knew about Cody's injury as well. We said we reckon Cody's going, like, something's happening with the cell. Someone's going off it, like off the side, off the top, like just something mental's going to happen with the cell. I honestly think that there probably was something planned that got 100%. Scrapped because of that injury.
Yeah,
I honestly think so.
I think it would have, and I do think it would have been Cody that took the spot.
I think Cody would have done a bit of a moonsault or something off the top of that. He would have
maybe not the top, maybe not the top, maybe a moonsault from like halfway up or something.
Yeah,
but yeah, I do kind of agree.
But in hindsight, we didn't need to sell. But what I would have done is you could have easily made this an ODQ match, and instead of having a main event as Hell in a Cell, you could have easily stuck in 2 more matches and stuck in maybe the women's, maybe the Bobby Lashley one.
I think the women's were in an awkward spot because obviously that match was thrown together because of everything else. I said this last night as well. I think originally, if they'd have stuck with the original plans, I think we'd have actually had 3 women's matches on the card last night.
Yeah.
Because I think they would have had
one of them
Asuka and Becky in the cell.
Did again.
And I think one of them would have been the main event.
Yeah. Quite possibly.
Yeah, because because I suppose Cody Seth wasn't for the title, I suppose, yeah. But yeah, I think you definitely should have put Moss and Corbin in the cell instead.
I also wouldn't have been surprised if Cody didn't get injured, if Cody Seth would have opened the show and would have had the triple threat women or the women's match, one of the women's matches, as Pete said, as the main event.
I don't know. I was always expecting that to be the main event, in my opinion.
But like you think about that women's match, it's a big match. It's a big title match. You know, that would have been, that is main event worthy.
I think it was Sasha Ronda. Yeah,
but I think that would have been the main event.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's still a cell match, isn't it? With Cody Seth, it's like the biggest, 2 of the biggest names in wrestling.
I just think it's really unfortunate timing with the lack of depth of the roster, a bad injury. Yeah, it's all really inconvenient timing.
Yeah,
inconvenient timing.
Inconvenient.
Yeah,
inconvenient.
Obviously, Roman's new contract. Roman's not around.
Yeah.
Brock's contract. Brock's not around. There's the lack of depth in that upper card is kind of glaring at the moment, isn't it?
It
makes me think you're going to see
too dissimilar to the women's.
It makes me think it won't. If it carries on that issue, it won't be too long before you see the prom breakers and that coming up. something fresh.
Either that or we'll start pushing people like Kevin Owens and stuff
Yeah.
back into the main event as well.
Yeah,
Yes, please give me that. Give me that
Yeah.
every day of the week.
all day long.
Because the fact
AJ, Finn, Kevin, we've got a lot of people
Sammy.
that could be in that main event. Maybe not Sammy.
with the right build, I reckon. Sammy could
With
be.
the right build, but I mean,
not
main
his
event,
current, not his current, not his
main
current,
event,
not his current build.
Yeah.
I
Although
do.
saying that, I mean, we had this conversation, and I think all three of us agreed that we could quite possibly see Sammy winning Money in the Bank at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
But that's where I was actually going to get to next. Early predictions. I promised that we do them during the stream last night. Give me your early predictions, because obviously we've got no matches announced so far, so it actually makes it a bit harder. Early predictions for your men's and your women's.
Before we do predictions,
Yeah.
and I hadn't asked you two about this, but I thought about it earlier on. I think it would be nice if we revealed the punishment for our predictions contest for Money in the Bank on the podcast as an exclusive.
just that one.
Just to the podcast. Don't tell anybody outside of the podcast.
No.
either.
I mean, just
only the people that watch the podcast and are still watching at this point will know what the prediction, what the punishment is going to be.
Okay. Go on.
is it
Link.
just the Money in the Bank one?
Yeah. One of you will have to remind me because I'll get the wrong way round.
Right. So the Money in the Bank one.
This is the predictions
Is-
punishments.
Predictions punishment. Money in the Bank predictions punishment. So the persons who lose this one, the winner will pick what the losers wear cosplay wise as a wrestler to the Clash at the Castle event in Cardiff in September.
So, and that is, don't forgetting that we don't take one of us. So you have to be a clear winner.
Yeah, there'll be two of us or it'll be all three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's all three of us, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do the who picks who.
We'll have to
but
have
figure it
have
out.
hat who gets who, I suppose.
Oh well, we'll just go round in a fucking round robin.
Yeah.
Well, we just do it that you and me, Link, would decide Pete's together, and
Yeah, we'll
mine
work it
and
out.
Pete
Yeah,
would
yeah,
decide
that's-
Link's.
that works.
It's fairest way. So yeah, I mean, yeah,
This
there's-
could be really bad.
There's that. So
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
Especially as we've got really good seats as well.
right.
yeah.
I'm going to put another caveat on that because we're doing the early predictions. Shall we make these two, because they're before anything's announced, the tiebreakers, if it comes down to it? An extra. Go on.
Go on.
Balls on the table. Go on, lads. That's 2-1, isn't it? It's 2-1 vote. It's 2-1 vote. I'm at that 2-1.
No, because it's too far. It's too far out. If we forget, it's just a ball ache to look it up.
I won't forget.
And to be honest with you, I quite like the idea of there being a Tyson. We all have to.
It would be good that you can imagine if we all have to.
It'd be funny
I think
for
that would be funny.
funny for the winner, though, wouldn't it? It would be funny. Just be like, twats. Or I'm with these guys. Right, go on then. Give me your predictions anyway. Should we start with the women's? Who is going to do it? Because there's a lot. There's obviously there's a lot that no there's a lot of women that are doing bugger all.
I think I've got mine.
The main one.
I think I've got my two.
Go on, Pete.
Go on.
Women's then.
I'm going to go for someone who's had a bit of a story, but I'm going to go for Raquel to pick up the Money in the Bank.
Oh, that would be an early one.
Yeah.
No.
I just don't know who else they could be. At the minute.
No.
I got
Sorry.
mine.
I got mine as well.
I
I'm
one or two. I don't know. I'm one or two.
going to go Rhea.
Okay then, because that was one of my two.
I'm going to go Rhea. I think she's going to follow in Edge's footsteps.
So
Edge was the innovator, the creator of the match and everything else. I think it's the right choice.
ooh,
Are you going for
I
think you're going for a double.
I was gonna go Liv.
Oh, I said that he's the creator of the match. That's not true either, is it? It was
No,
Jericho,
it's not.
but you know what I mean.
Yep.
He was the first winner.
I'm going Alexa Bliss.
That's a good shout.
Thank you.
That's a good shout.
I appreciate that because Pete said the other day, "Oh, she might got a bit of a losing streak here during our Raw watch along, Raw."
And then won instantly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well done, Pete. That's second week in a row that she's won. Okay, Pete, well done. Tit.
Ooh, hold on.
I'm going Bliss. Would love to see Bliss because again, somebody else that is easily main event.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, I just said I'd love to see Bliss and just
yeah. I stand by myself. I said what I said. Go on, Pete. Go on. Are you going to change it?
No. I'm thinking of the men's. I thought of a couple for the men's.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Right. I mean, I'll add something before I make my choice. One of you two can go first for your actual pick. But
I'm going to get my.
I mean,
my
logic for my men's pick would be Damian Priest, given that I'm saying Rhea. But I'm not going Damian Priest. I'm sorry. I just don't see it in him.
Because the men's is a bit bigger. Well, hey, we'll throw in a little dark horse as well for a bit of fun. Throw in a bit of dark horse as well for a bit of fun. Because I've got a dark horse. I don't think he'll win it, but I've got a dark horse.
I'd say Damian Priest is a dark horse.
Is your dark horse okay?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm going to go for. I'm going to have someone whose story's now finished, and someone we've just said should be in the main title picture. I'm going to go for Kevin Owens.
I'd be happy to see Kevin Owens.
I'd be really happy with Kevin Owens.
It's actually a very good shout. Very, very good shout. Thinking about it,
he's now finished that story, and he's got a bit of a run.
Yeah, he's a very good shout.
The thing is, it's somewhat, in my opinion, now it needs to be someone that, because they've done Otis. Who did they do last year? They had to give it to the Miz instead.
Otis.
Was it Otis last year? Who was last year? Who was last year? Otis was the year before, wasn't he?
No, Otis. Miz won it legit last year, didn't he?
No. Miz won the contract after.
He won the contract because I was actually my dark horse was going to be the Miz to go and win it this year.
Did he win it from?
I can't remember.
Was it? That wasn't Ali.
Hang on. It was Big E. No.
Yes.
Wait.
No, Big E cashed in successfully.
Wait. Was it the Miz that had it? I'm so confused.
The Miz got it in the year that because obviously John Morrison helped him get the title.
Big E won it last year.
Yeah, so it must have been the year before that the Miz got it.
He won it off Otis the year before.
Year before.
Yeah.
Blimey, it was the year before. Wow.
Yeah, Big E won it last year.
Okay.
The Miz was going to be my dark horse to give him a bit of a story.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know because there's so many people that haven't even been on the show tonight.
It would be cool if something like Bron Breakker won a chance.
Mate, bronze crossed my head. It's not going to be Daniel Bryan.
Would be cool though, wouldn't it?
It would be
what
cool.
about Bryan Danielson?
It won't be.
Well, we noticed that in the pre-show as well, didn't we?
He's injured, isn't he?
They had an advert up with Daniel Bryan still.
They did, yeah.
Fuck it. If in doubt, AJ Styles it out. Why not? But my dark horse. Ready for this? Butch.
Okay. I don't see it, but okay.
It's just why it's dark horse. I just said I don't think he win it, but
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he suddenly gets that sudden push. In the same way that Otis did, really, actually.
Fair. Pete, what were yours?
Kevin Owens, because I want him to win the Rumble. He didn't do that, so this will be his shot for Mania.
And dark horse?
And
the Miz?
Miz was dark horse.
Okay, so my dark horse was Damian Priest. Look, it's bonkers for me to say this, and I'm thinking about it, and as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is just no. You're wrong. You're very wrong. You're very
going for that
wrong.
man behind Dan's shoulder.
I am. I'm going for Cody.
Wow.
Look, to be fair, I'm surprised none of us picked Seth as well.
I thought about Seth. I'm actually going to change it because I've just thought about somebody.
Is it Seth?
No, I'm going to go Matt Riddle instead of AJ. I'm going to go Riddle instead of AJ.
Oh.
There we go. I forgot about Riddle.
Imagine Orton return for that.
I don't think, because I think Orton's legit injured, isn't he? Now,
yeah,
so we thought it was a bit of a work, but no, I think he's legit injured, and I mean, he's going to have a build up. Riddle's going to be about. He's probably going to be in that match because he's got no shoes.
And you know, not one of us, after talking about it, not one of us actually said Sammy.
Yeah,
I still love it.
I can't.
I still love it to
Sammy.
be Sammy, but I don't see it
can't see it.
happening. I'd love for it to be Sammy. I'd love for it to be Sammy.
I really want to see Kevin Owens more on the mic as well, and with the briefcase, you'll see a lot more of him.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I watched Kevin Owens on the bump.
Good name for a
yesterday.
podcast.
I mean, it is a podcast, so yes, it is.
Yeah.
I watched Kevin Owens on the bump yesterday. It was so good. It was so good. Just so good. He came in early, like they were like, "Oh yeah, Kevin Owens is coming on later." He's like, "No, I'm coming in now. Move." But he broke the microphones, their speakers, everything. He's just a ball of energy with it. Yeah. He's so much fun to watch. Like, and those shows normally kind of, if I'm honest, they kind of bore me a little bit. But like, he was so fun. He was so fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and on that note, I think that does round us off, lads. I've done it again. We said it was going to be quite a short one. We're still over it. We're going to still be over an hour.
I predicted that, to be fair.
Enjoy the motherfucking podcast. Okay?
And don't tell anybody what the punishment's going to be. Don't tell anyone. Just let them watch. Tell them if they want to know, they've got to watch the podcast.
Watch the podcast. Give them a wrong time frame if you want, and then
tell them it's in the first 10 minutes,
or give them the time frame like I don't know, 6 minutes, 7 minutes before where it actually is. Then I guess it's quite a good little view.
Tell them it's in the first hour.
Not entirely sure. It will be actually. I'm fairly sure it might be just outside it.
Well,
I mean, even better. It means they've got to wait a little bit longer. We're like, there's 10 minutes left. Might as well watch the rest of it.
Yeah. But thank you very much, guys. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.
Yeah.
Boys.
French. French.
Mop.